Do you know the one thing your cat wishes you would do every single day? Most owners think love from a cat comes from feeding them, buying toys, or giving them space. And yes, those things matter. But there's something far more powerful happening beneath the surface of your relationship with your cat, something most people completely overlook. Because to a cat, love isn't measured the way humans measure it. It's measured in trust, and trust, for a creature that evolved to survive alone, is one of the rarest things they can give. The strange part. The one daily action that builds that trust faster than anything else is so simple that many cat owners accidentally skip it, sometimes for years. And if you start doing it consistently, something subtle begins to change. Your cat starts following you more, sitting closer, watching you differently, almost like they've started seeing you as something more than just the person who fills their bowl. Let's start with the first thing most people misunderstand. 1. It's not about touching them more. A lot of people assume that if they want their cat to love them more, they should pet them constantly. More cuddles, more scratches, more physical attention. But here's the problem with that idea. Cats don't bond the way dogs do. Dogs build relationships through physical interaction and constant engagement. But cats evolved very differently. In the wild, unnecessary contact can actually be threatening. So when a human constantly reaches out to pet a cat, pick them up, or pull them closer, the cat may tolerate it. But tolerance is not the same as trust. What actually strengthens your bond is something much quieter. Eye contact. More specifically, a slow blink. Now this might sound almost too simple, but in the language of cats, the slow blink is one of the most meaningful signals they have. If you've ever noticed your cat looking at you and slowly closing their eyes before opening them again, that wasn't random. That was communication, because in the animal world, closing your eyes in front of someone is an act of vulnerability. It means you trust the other being enough to temporarily let your guard down. And when your cat slow blinks at you, they're essentially saying something very specific. I feel safe with you. But here's the part most owners don't realize. When you return that slow blink, when you calmly meet their gaze and gently blink back, you're speaking their language. And to them, that moment carries more emotional weight than you might imagine. In fact, researchers studying cat-human communication discovered something fascinating. Cats respond significantly more positively to humans who slow blink at them. They approach more often. They show more relaxed body language. And they're more likely to initiate contact afterward. In other words, when you mirror that signal, your cat doesn't just notice. They remember. And if this is already starting to make sense, take a second and hit like and subscribe. It helps more cat owners discover how much deeper their connection with their pets can really go. Because the slow blink isn't the only thing happening here. There's another layer to this daily habit that most people completely miss. 2. Your cat is studying your face more than you think. Have you ever felt like your cat is just staring at you, not begging for food, not asking to play, just sitting there, quietly watching? A lot of owners assume their cat is bored or maybe just zoning out. But cats rarely stare without a reason. What they're actually doing is reading you. Over thousands of years of domestication, cats have become incredibly skilled at interpreting human facial expressions and micro-movements. They notice the way your eyebrows move when you're frustrated, the way your eyes soften when you're relaxed, even the subtle tension in your face when you're stressed. Your cat is constantly gathering this information. And when you make calm eye contact with them, especially combined with a slow blink, you're sending a signal that says everything is safe. No tension, no threat, just quiet presence. And over time, that repeated signal builds something incredibly powerful inside your cat's mind. Predictability. Cats thrive on predictability. A predictable human becomes a safe human, and a safe human becomes someone worth bonding with. But here's where things get even more interesting. Because once your cat begins to associate your presence with calmness and safety, they start doing something subtle that many owners never notice. 3. They begin initiating the interaction. Think back to the last time your cat walked up to you, rubbed their head against your leg, and then looked up at you. That wasn't random affection. That was your cat continuing a conversation. Cats have scent glands around their cheeks, forehead, and chin. When they rub against you, they're leaving their scent behind, but scent marking isn't just about territory. It's about belonging. In cat social groups, shared scent creates a kind of family signature. Members of the same group smell alike. It's how they recognize who's safe. So when your cat approaches you after those quiet eye contact moments and rubs against you, they're doing something very specific. They're blending their scent with yours. In their world, that action says something profound. You're part of my circle. And the more often those calm daily interactions happen, the stronger that shared scent bond becomes. But there's something even deeper happening beneath that behavior. Something rooted in your cat's ancient survival instincts. 4. You're becoming part of their safe territory. Territory means everything to a cat. It's not just the house. It's the couch, the windowsill, the hallway, and eventually, the people inside it. Cats mentally map their territory based on safety zones, places where nothing bad happens, places where they can relax, places where they can sleep deeply without fear. And every calm, predictable interaction you have with your cat reinforces the idea that you are part of that safe map. Think about it this way: to a cat, you're not just a person. You're a moving piece of their environment, a presence that either creates stress or safety. When you consistently offer calm eye contact, slow blinks, and gentle acknowledgement instead of overwhelming interaction, your cat begins associating you with peace. And that changes how they move around you. They walk closer. They sit beside you more often. They start choosing the same room you're in, even if nothing exciting is happening there. But the most powerful shift happens when your cat starts doing something that signals complete emotional trust. 5. They start exposing their vulnerable side. And this is where many owners misread the situation. Because when a cat rolls onto their back and shows their belly, people assume it's an invitation to rub it. Most of the time, it's not. It's actually something much more meaningful. Showing the belly is one of the most vulnerable positions a cat can take. All their vital organs are exposed. In the wild, that position would only happen in environments where the cat feels completely secure. So when your cat stretches out near you, belly exposed, paws relaxed, eyes half closed, they're communicating something very important. I trust this space, and by extension, I trust you. But what determines whether a cat reaches that level of comfort? It's not toys, it's not treats, it's the emotional tone of your daily interactions. And the simple act of calm eye contact and slow blinking plays a surprisingly powerful role in that process. Because every time you respond to your cat in their language instead of forcing human interaction, you're reinforcing something inside their mind. Respect. Cats bond deeply with humans who respect their boundaries. But there's another fascinating effect that begins to appear once this trust starts forming. And it has to do with how your cat adjusts their behavior around your daily routine. 6. Your cat begins syncing with you. Cats are naturally crepuscular, meaning their bodies are wired to be most active at dawn and dusk. In the wild, those are prime hunting hours. But domesticated cats living with humans often do something remarkable. They slowly adjust their rhythms to match their owners. You might notice your cat appearing right when you wake up, or sitting nearby while you relax in the evening, or even waiting outside the door before you come home. These aren't coincidences. Your cat is learning your patterns, and when they trust you deeply, they begin weaving their routine into yours. Researchers studying domestic cats have observed that bonded cats gradually align their activity cycles with the humans they feel safest around. Not because they have to, but because they want to, which means something simple like making calm eye contact and slow blinking at the same time every day becomes part of that predictable rhythm, a signal your cat comes to expect, a moment that quietly reinforces the bond between you. But there's one final piece of this puzzle, and it's something every cat owner should understand. 7. The moment your cat stops responding to this ritual. Because when a cat that used to slow blink back at you suddenly avoids eye contact or withdraws, it's rarely random. Cats are incredibly consistent communicators. If their behavior shifts, it usually means something in their world has changed. Sometimes it's stress, a new environment, a new pet, a disruption in their routine. Other times, it can even be physical discomfort or illness. And the reason this daily connection matters so much is because it gives you a baseline. You begin to understand your cat's normal emotional signals. So when something changes, you notice it early, and that awareness can make a real difference in their well-being. But here's the most important thing to remember. Your cat isn't looking for grand gestures. They're looking for understanding, a few seconds of calm eye contact, a slow blink returned with patience, a quiet acknowledgement that you see them, not just as a pet, but as a thinking, feeling creature with their own language. To you, it might feel like almost nothing, but to your cat, it can mean everything, because in their world, trust is built in the smallest moments, and when you speak their language, even in something as simple as a slow blink, you're telling them something they understand perfectly. You're safe here, and once a cat truly believes that, their love doesn't come in loud, obvious ways. It shows up quietly, in the way they sit beside you, follow you from room to room, or choose the space next to you when they could be anywhere else. Because in their mind, that choice means something simple. Out of the entire world, they trust you the most. It shows up quietly, in the way they sit beside you without asking for attention, in the way they follow you from room to room, even when nothing interesting is happening. And sometimes, in the smallest gesture of all, the slow blink they give you when they catch you looking at them. Because once a cat fully trusts you, their love doesn't look loud or dramatic. It looks calm, familiar, safe. But there's another piece of this daily ritual that most owners never think about, and it explains why some cats seem to grow closer to their humans year after year, while others remain distant, even in the same home. It comes down to something surprisingly simple: consistency. Cats don't experience relationships in big emotional spikes the way humans do. They experience them through patterns, small actions repeated again and again. 8. Your cat is tracking the patterns you create. To us, a day feels like a blur of different moments, but to a cat, each day is a series of repeating signals: the sound of the alarm, the footsteps in the hallway, the opening of the fridge, the familiar rhythm of someone moving through the house. Cats quietly observe all of it, and over time, they begin predicting what comes next. That's why many cats appear in the kitchen seconds before food is served, or sit near the door right before their owner gets home. They're not guessing, they're remembering. Now think about what happens when you introduce a small, calm ritual into that pattern, like pausing for a moment each day to acknowledge your cat with eye contact and a slow blink. To you, it might last 2 seconds. To your cat, it becomes a recognizable signal in their daily map of the world, a signal that says, "This is our moment." And the more predictable that moment becomes, the more secure your cat begins to feel around you. Security is everything in a cat's emotional life. A predictable human becomes a reliable human, and a reliable human becomes someone worth forming a deeper bond with. But here's where something fascinating starts to happen. 9. Your cat begins mirroring your calmness. Have you ever noticed how some cats seem unusually relaxed around certain people? They move slower, they blink more, they settle down faster. This isn't just personality. Cats often mirror the emotional energy of the humans they trust. If someone approaches quickly, reaches suddenly, or speaks loudly, a cat's body language tightens. Their pupils widen. Their muscles prepare for movement. But when someone moves slowly, speaks softly, and communicates through gentle signals like slow blinking, the cat's nervous system responds differently. Their body relaxes. Their breathing slows. They stretch out instead of staying alert. And once a cat learns that being near you feels calm instead of unpredictable, they begin seeking that feeling more often. That's why some cats choose to sit beside one specific person in a room full of people. It's not random. That person simply feels the safest. And over time, the cat's brain begins linking that feeling of calm directly to you. But there's another behavior that begins to appear once that trust deepens. And it's one of the clearest signs that your cat sees you as part of their inner circle. 10. They start greeting you differently. Think about how your cat reacts when you walk into the room. Some cats barely look up. Others run toward their owners the moment they hear their voice. If your cat approaches you with their tail held high, the tip slightly curved, that's one of the strongest social signals a cat can give. In feline body language, that upright tail is used between cats who trust each other. It's essentially a friendly greeting, a signal that says, "I'm happy to see you." Many cats only display this posture toward individuals they consider part of their safe group. And interestingly, slow blinking and calm eye contact help reinforce that social bond. Because from your cat's perspective, those signals mimic the relaxed facial expressions cats share with each other. So without realizing it, you're participating in a form of social communication that feels very natural to them. And that daily moment, that tiny exchange of trust, slowly reshapes the way your cat experiences you. But here's something even more surprising. 11. This simple habit can change how affectionate your cat becomes. Some cats seem naturally cuddly. Others appear distant or independent. But behaviorists studying domestic cats have noticed that affection levels often increase when owners consistently respond to feline social signals. That means acknowledging slow blinks, respecting personal space, allowing the cat to initiate contact. When cats feel their signals are understood instead of ignored, their willingness to engage grows dramatically. It's like finally speaking the same language after years of misunderstanding each other. And once that communication barrier disappears, the relationship changes. Cats that once sat across the room begin sitting beside you. Cats that avoided contact begin nudging your hand. Cats that ignored you entirely begin quietly following you through the house, not because they suddenly became more dependent, but because they now see you as someone who understands them. And for a creature that evolved to survive largely on its own, that kind of connection is incredibly rare. Which brings us to the final and most meaningful truth behind this daily action. 12. Love for a cat is built in silent moments. Cats don't express love through big dramatic displays. They express it through presence, choosing to sit near you, choosing to nap in the same room, choosing to watch you with slow, relaxed eyes. Each of those small choices is a sign that your cat feels something powerful in your presence. Safety, and safety is the foundation of every bond a cat forms. So when you take a few seconds each day to meet their gaze, soften your expression, and slowly blink back, you're doing something far more important than it might seem. You're telling them, in the language they understand best, that they don't need to be on guard, that nothing in this moment will harm them, that the world around them is calm. And when a cat truly believes that they give you something they rarely give anyone, their trust, and once a cat gives you that trust, the rest of their love follows naturally. It shows up in the quiet footsteps behind you, the soft head bump against your hand, the gentle purring when they settle down nearby. Little signs that might seem ordinary at first, but in the emotional world of a cat, they mean everything. So the next time your cat looks at you from across the room, try something simple. Pause for a moment. Meet their eyes and slowly blink, because in that small, silent exchange, you might be strengthening a bond your cat will carry for the rest of their life. Paw prints.